Okay, so we're done with question 1. So let's go to question number 2. And question 2a says we have 1 over 3 raised to the power of, that should be 5n, times 9 raised to the power of n minus 1, times 27 raised to the power of n plus 1. Um, One of the things I've teased so far in trying to rewrite what we know in modern mathematics is to help us take note of specific topics that enable us to understand concepts very well. The concept of indices is understood best with the concept of prime numbers. Prime numbers. So if you look at this setup, you discover the prime number being played with here is what? 3. So I'm going to work with that mindset. So if you look at this now, I can rewrite this to be what? 3 raised to the power of what? 5 negative 5n. Why? Because 1 over suggests reciprocal. The concept of reciprocal is what makes the index power to be what? Negative. Times, this will be what? 3 raised to the power of 2 into n minus 1. Times 3 raised to the power of what? 3 into n plus 1. So if you do that correctly, now when you're doing this, please, especially if you're practicing, take pains to, don't rush, do it gradually. This will now be what? 3 raised to the power of negative 5n times 3 raised to the power of 2n minus 2 times 3 raised to the power of 3n plus 3. So with that said, remember that if I multiply bases that are the same, essentially I am adding their index or indices. So this we call what? Negative 5n plus 2n minus 2. Please, I will advise you to case it in the bracket first. Plus 3n plus 3, case in the bracket. So at this point in time, I can now do what? Whether I put in bracket or not doesn't really matter because it's addition. But I just want to do that. So I'm also one of those people who have teased the concept of random addition. The concept of random addition says don't bother rearranging. Pick it. Negative 5 plus 2 gives me what? Negative 3 plus negative 3n. These values that are in n will give me what? 0. Is that not?
Yeah.
So that clears away. Negative 2 plus 3 will give me what? 1. And this gives you your full mark in the exam. Full mark. Nobody penalizes you for not showing extra working. This is clear enough at SS3. Alright, so we go to question 2b. Now in 2b, we are told that the sum of the ages of a woman and her daughter is what? 46 years. And that in 4 years' time, the ratio of their ages will be what? 7:2. Find their present ages. This is a test of word problem. And for every word problem, try to read the question and understand what the examiner wants you to do. So I'll start by saying, now, the sum of the ages of a woman and her daughter is what? 46 years. So I'll just say, let woman's age be W. I always like to use letters of the first letter of the, some people use X, Y, but I always like to use the first letter of the name or the word given to me. And I'll say, let daughter's age be what? D. Beautiful. So it means that W plus D will be equal to what? 46. Now, we are told that the ratio of their, okay, in 4 years' time, the ratio of their ages will be what? 7:2. It means, remember that a ratio is also a fraction. So technically, I can say 7/2, where 7 will mean the mother's age or the woman's age and 2 will be the daughter's age. It says in what? 4 years' time. So whatever the woman's age is, add 4 years' time over whatever the daughter's age is, add what? 4 years. So this is what we're expected to do. Some of us are used to equation 1, equation 2. I really don't use that method anymore. I will just put an asterisk telling me that I've simplified that one out. And just follow my technique. It's quite different, but quite easy to and relaxing when you're solving. So I will deal with this. I'm going to deal with this. So this 2 is dividing 7. So what will you do in this part? It's going to multiply this. This is dividing this. What will you do here to do what? Multiply? So I'm going to have 7 into d plus 4 equal to 2 into w plus 4. That's what I'm going to have. I'm going to have that. So this will mean that 7d plus 28 will be equal to 2w plus 8. That's what that will be equal to. That's what that gives you. And if you've done that correctly, what that means would be 7d minus 2w will be equal to 8 minus 28, which invariably means that 7d minus 2w will be equal to negative 20. And I'll put another asterisk here telling me that that equation is also important for me. What you discover, you'd have observed, is that I have simultaneous equations built up. So I am a strong advocate of elimination method. I am a strong advocate for the use of what? Elimination method. Okay, I'm having d and w. So to make it consistent, I'll write d before w. So I have w plus d. So I can write that. Okay, let's write that first, so that for those of us who are following me won't get confused. So I'll change it to what? D plus w equal to what? 46. Please take note of this. If you add two things, irrespective of the order in which you're adding them, as long as they are both positive, it would mean nothing. You still end up getting the same answer. So that's the logic I've applied there. So there needs to be what? 7d minus 2w equal to negative 20. I made this observation because I noticed that d was positive. So I decided to rearrange it so that I can have my d written positive first. Good. Now the next thing I do, I am a strong advocate of elimination method. So I'm going to rule this like this. And I'm going to multiply. I'm going to try to eliminate w. The rule says eliminate the one with the lowest LCM. So if I look at this, I have 2, I have 7 here, so I'll use this. So I'll multiply this by 2, multiply this by 1. So I'm going to have a new set of equations that will read something like 2d plus 2w equal to 92. I'm going to have 7d minus 2w equal to negative 20. So at this point, I can eliminate by addition. This is positive, this is what? Negative. So I'm going to eliminate by what? Addition. So I just put my addition sign there. I'm going to have 9d equal to, because by elimination, these w's will go. I'm going to have 72, which means that d will be equal to what? 72 over 9, and that is what? 8. So I've gotten d to be what? 8. So I'm going to clean this part so we can continue. Okay, so I've gotten d to be 8. Now, my task will be to get w. Remember that we said that w plus d is equal to 46. I can just say recall. So d is what? 8. So it means w plus 8 will be equal to 46. Meaning that w will be equal to 46 minus 8. W will now be equal to 38. So this is in years, and this will be in years also. So the mothers, now they said we should find their present age. This is their present age, or ages. So W is equal to 38 years, and D is equal to what? 8 years. Now let me just say this, that whether you come back later to write this, as long as these answers are stated there, you've gotten your full mark, and that takes care of this problem. So that settles that.